Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Standing up here with our SGA president, Ms. Ariana White, and our student trustee, Mr. Miles Beasley. And first, let me thank all of you for being here. Our local media, y'all have made us famous. Y'all have told a story. Y'all have given us publicity that I couldn't pay for. And with that, thank you. It's hard work being a journalist, a reporter, a cameraman, because sometimes you have to cover things that you may not be sure about, that may conflict you with your own personal spirit. But I like to think that each and every one of you have covered the stories because you want to see what's best for the students, the city of Raleigh, and this great institution. So I stand here today to say thank you for doing the tough work, sometimes the one that's unpleasant, but doing the necessary work that we can be better about the things we have to do today. Since its founding over 150 years ago, St. Augustine's has been a pillar in this community, educating young students and preparing them to excel, and confronting the challenges that life invariably holds. The future of this exceptional institution requires a commitment of resources, strategic planning, and leadership. I am here today to address the crisis that threatens the continued viability of our university, but most importantly, we are plotting a pathway to emerge from the difficult issue that I have inherited months ago. December 11th, I stepped forth on this campus, knowing that it had challenges. I received a call stating that they understood if I decided not to come. But why would I leave students like this and our rest of our faculty and staff who have tirelessly continued to show excellence in the classroom, the staff who have tirelessly, without pay, continued to support this great institution, these students? How could I turn this moment in time away? Our students deserve the same excellence in leadership from my administration that we expect from them when they leave here. Our core existence here is to remain steadfast in our commitment to those students who have entrusted their lives to us, especially our seniors. These are two of our seniors. They're going to graduate in a few months. And I want them to be able to graduate from an accredited institution, from a place that has molded and shaped them, who have given them an opportunity to lead. She works at the courthouse as an intern. This young man manages our radio station and does a lot of great things. And as a student rep on our trustee board, they matter. Honestly and transparency. Let's talk about that in a minute. As I stand before you, I want to fiercely let you know that we are determined to navigate this proud institution through this existential crisis, full of faith that the dark past has taught us. Honesty and transparency are the linchpins of leadership. So I acknowledge that St. Augustine's has several difficult issues to resolve, which strike at our core. Through principally financial, and though that the finances are the core, these challenges have bled to every facet of our institution because our resources are the fuel that propel our mission. Having worked at HBCUs for over 20 years, financial problems are regrettably part of our DNA. However, our responsibility is to solve problems, not allowing them to fester and seep into our core mission. The issues we face did not begin yesterday and will not simply be gone and resolved by tomorrow. But I assure you, our students, faculty, our proud alumni and community, the great Raleigh community, the Oakwood community, that we are working feverishly to structure a cogent and viable plan to extricate this venerable institution from crisis and return to educating a generation of leaders. We have a moral stake in rescuing our university from the tragic fate that has befallen it, like other HBCUs. I pledge, not on my watch, not on our watch. The university's desire for growth, combined with the changing dynamic of a competitive higher education environment, has unfortunately driven a range of challenges. Challenges related to enrollment, student housing, fiscal stability, or better yet, fiscal sustainability, and operating efficiency, in tandem with a problematic system of financial policies, has placed our university in dire risk. So let me now articulate the steps in which we have taken to address these issues. We met our payroll on Friday, which was a positive, and I mean positive and necessary step to reassure our faculty and staff that we recognize the sacrifices that have been made. Many of them, unable to make their own ends meet, chose not to let that be fallen, educating and taking care of our students. We have engaged a financial consulting team, a firm which has worked previously on other similar issues at other similar places. They are preparing a financial plan to both address our current indebtedness and institute new guidelines and controls going forward. We have begun meeting with the IRS and others who have outstanding balances to fashion viable resolutions. We have prepared our appeal. I'll be heading to Atlanta when I leave here. We have prepared our appeal for the removal of our accreditation before the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. We have begun a forensic audit to determine how the financial issues developed and the extent of liability for the crisis. These steps, which do not constitute the entirety of our efforts, do resurrect our financial viability. These steps are a thoughtful process to move our beloved St. Augustine's University forward. Now, let us march on till victory is won. And now we'll take any questions.
President Burgess, when did the university first know that it would not meet payroll February 9th?
On February 9th, I knew about 2 days prior to that.
Did you inform staffers?
Yes, I had a long conversation with faculty and staff on that Thursday.
So the plan that you guys have created, do you think this will address future payroll issues? We heard from staffers that this was a problem back in December. Can you confirm if that was a problem and how you guys are going to work to make sure?
So in December, there were some issues. I'm not sure if they were finance related because of how we draw down the money and move it to another bank. So again, financial controls. But what I can say is during this last payroll and the payroll prior, it was due to how money was cash flow. It's all about cash flow. And I had an onus to let our faculty know the first time it happened. And the second time, I had to apologize to them. I was getting ready to speak it. I had a cold. We were on our way to our tracks training for that accrediting body to see how that would work. And I chose to send a letter instead of speaking to them like I do normally. And in my opinion, that's what a coward does. You send a letter when you can't face the music. And so that won't ever happen again. If there's a message to be conveyed to my faculty and staff, they're gonna hear it from me. I'm gonna look into their face or their eyes or through the computer lens, but they're gonna hear it straight here, good, bad, or indifferent. That's how we plan to move forward.
President What was that money for? What was it used for? And how do you begin to repay that with all these other debts?
So it was 7 million allocated, but only 4.5 was received. And so we have not received the other portion of that. And it was to create a cash flow. And a lot of that money didn't get used for what it was intended to because there were liens out there. There were debts that needed to be paid. So theoretically, that line of credit actually helped pay some of the past debts that came out.
Are there any signs that money was mismanaged or misused?
That's going to be for the forensic audit. I don't have that type of financial acumen. We'll let the experts do that, but we will find out. And trust me, I hope you guys will help me along that as well.
You mentioned the financial consulting firm. How much is the university spending on that?
Well, we were blessed to be a UNCF school, so the United Negro College Fund is going to assist us with covering that bill.
And what's been your message to students as the university has grappled with this financial crisis?
Well, directly, and Miles can, and Ariana can tell you, I go directly to the students. My favorite time is lunch. And I sit down and have a conversation with them so they can understand that all of us are at fault in a sense. Even when, they were actually thinking about protesting a couple of weeks ago when we were making them pay their debts. And they said, were you mad? Are you upset? I said, literally, I'm gonna get a chair and eat some popcorn and watch. And they said, why? I said, think about the headlines. Students being made to pay their bills for their own education. How does that sound? And a little girl said, y'all, that sounds kind of stupid, so we might not need to do that. But we've been very open with them and having those conversations directly, because if you have big groups, it goes over their head. My CFO and I, so many students have come into our office so we can talk to them about their situation. And I can't applaud student accounts, financial aid, everybody who's been working to help them understand, but also let's plot a way forward so we can assist them.
Does the university anticipate meeting the next payroll?
Oh, that may be a challenge. So you might want to start writing now. Our goal, though, is to make payroll. It's always going to be my goal. But with the new tax liens from the IRS, some of the things that we were working on have been infringed upon, but we are working through those things. Yes, ma'am.
You're talking about current students, but it's also college application, college admission season. I'm wondering, do you feel that the university can, in good conscience, bring new students onto campus? What is your message to them about this situation and how it would affect new prospective students?
So that is definitely a concern of mine. And I think the biggest piece is going to be what we do with SAC COC. Accreditation and our Title IV funding is the most important thing going forward for any of our students. And so what as we work to mitigate those issues, that message to an incoming freshman class, we do anticipate it being smaller, but that may be a good thing. We're going to have to cut to work our way back. So we may have to operate on a leaner budget to ensure our stability going forward. Yes, ma'am.
What happens if the appeal doesn't go through?
So if the appeal doesn't go through, we would then litigate with SAC COC. Unfortunately, they're not allowing me to speak about the new things that we're working on. I can only speak up until the record of the appeals of the SAC's hearing or meeting in December. And so we will be able to litigate, if not successful, tomorrow, and then that is where we think we will win.
And that's going to cost money to litigate.
Oh, it's going to cost money. Definitely is. So that's why that Falcon Pride initiative that we're having right now is so important. It's going to cost money. If you all remember when our sister institution, Bennett College, went through something very similar. 157-year institution here in this great community. Could y'all imagine trying to find news if we weren't here in other institutions? Can you imagine what this beautiful land that we sit on? It may be condos, it may be residential, it may be even a convention center or something. But the hallowed grounds that our founders and the students who helped to quarry the rocks to build these great buildings, That'd be a shame. Yes, ma'am.
Now, I remember being here in, excuse me, the end of 2018 to much fanfare when St. Augustine's University, won a major feat. They were taken off of probation from the accrediting institution because of a lot of changes that were made. So I guess I'm trying to ask, like, and we know that was a couple of years or a year and a half before the pandemic. So I just wonder, are you going to repeat some of those same things to sort of get back on track? Like, what curve happened? Because it seems St. Augustine's was on a high note in accomplishing a lot of the things that you're talking about today. They just did a few years ago.
Well, our goal is if there's a path that was winning, we want to follow that play as well. But from what our administration has saw, just a lack of internal controls, a lack of students being held accountable, or even being told. And that was the conversation I had with these two of, Dr. Burgess, we were told school was free. At least we thought it was. So let's think about this. My budget is going to be my budget. My paying our faculty and staff every 2 weeks, that's going to happen regardless. But if our student fees are not aligned and they're not coming in, well, then your budget is upside down. And so we are trying to figure out a better spending model, a better way of what our true cash flow is, but then also how do we utilize the resources we have at this great institution to our best advantage. And it's not just giving it away just because we're in a tough situation. It is how do we work with the Raleigh community? How do we do something that's going to benefit all of us as we work to fight our way back? Yes, sir.
You mentioned about the land, and that was sent in one of the emails, I think, to the staff, that there were concerns about money not being coming in from what I assume would be a land sale. Have you been looking to sell some of the university's land, and where are you in that process?
So prior to the IRS, we were looking, walking and chewing gum at the same time. There was some land that does not fit into the master plan that we were looking to collateralize so we can get some cash flow. Because again, Wake County land prices have gone up. And so we wanted to make sure we were thoughtful in that. There was a deal, I think everybody heard about the famous Carter deal that was supposed to happen to bring $10 million. Well, it was not a good deal. It was a 99-year land lease. And so we wanted to make sure that whatever deal that we use on this great land, it's going to be the benefit of the institution and its community.
With the fundraising going on too, and the message here, what would you tell people, how close is this university to shutting down?
Because of our resources, from a fiscal standpoint, ours is just cash flow. It's getting to our money. There's over almost $6 million right now of our money at the Department of Education. But because of being on high cash monitoring, the system that we have to go through, and it's put in place to protect taxpayers' dollars, so I understand it, not fighting it. But until we can get to our own money, and that's what we want to do. We want access to do some things, and we just need a little time. My administration needs just a little time so we can make sure if cash flow wasn't a problem, then I can be going out doing the fundraising that I'm used to doing. And it's spending time with our economic development team, spending time with our chambers. I'm gonna tell you, probably the best partners we have right now is Wake County Public Schools. Dr. Taylor and his team, and I can only imagine the parents of our early college students. This taints them. Every time something negative happens about this institution, my student is there. But I want you to pay attention to how they walk this campus and enjoy being on our campus. What are they learning? They're learning a culture that is not just black and white or brown. It is us. And so I'm so thankful for those students on our campus and that they decided to leave them here at least to the end of this semester.
You mentioned cutting back in an effort to work your way back. Will there be any layoffs?
There will probably be some cuts. There will be some cuts.
Any idea how many?
Not sure right now. And again, we're taking a hard look at where they need to come from, because I also want to do it in such a way that those people who have worked so hard to be here and love this place, that we provide opportunity for them to come back. Sometimes you have to even let them go. There's been a couple employees that we probably encouraged. If you have a chance to do something someplace else, take it and make me work for it to bring you back. Yes, sir. You had a question?
Yeah, you brought up, Miles, who we talked to the past Spectrum News on the new TV station, the upgrades. I know there's a $300,000 call for that too, for funds. Can you give us an update on that TV station?
Still one of those things, and that's going to be one of those opportunities that we utilize friends in that community. You know, ABC, NBC, CBS, radio stations. I think your stations may be a great opportunity and a great, opportunity to show solidarity with this great institution and assisting us with that media space. We're doing radio and TV in that space. I'm sure some of the equipment in there is just as good as the equipment you have here. It'd be a great story to show that our local news stations who support us also supported the success of us maintaining that space.
If you don't get the accreditation, you have to go into litigation. Cash flow is continuing to be an issue. When will you have to close doors? What is, if this doesn't happen?
Closing doors that's a years away. And really, I don't even think about that. Even in our darkest times, closing these hallowed doors, these walls, it's not going to happen. It's too much out there for us to be successful. It would be a tragedy if we didn't do all we can to keep it open. Yes, ma'am.
So how are you guys sustaining staff, making sure that the employees keep coming back? You mentioned about the uncertainty for the next pay period. And so people who work here carry that. That has to be concerning. Do I need to continue showing up if I'm not going to get?
Oh, like the email that went out that made everybody think that teachers weren't teaching. That was one individual. And faculty took care of that. Faculty took care of that. And they're here to the end. We also had community folks to come in and bring funds to provide gas cards to our faculty and staff to ensure that if gas is stopping you from getting here. We've had faculty and staff members to provide access to funds if somebody was maybe going to miss a rent payment or a car payment. We've been rallying around each other to ensure that if someone needs to be lifted up, we got them, we got your back. And so that's the message, if I don't say anything else out there, is thank each and every one of you who've continued to be faithful and say, you know what, I have a little more than others. Let me share it. These students, this institution matters. Let me help. Sometimes it's not about what I get in return. It's about what is right. Unfortunately, I don't have the endowments that some of our larger institutions in this region have, that they've been grandfathered in to receive dollars whether they earn it or not. And that's not their fault. It's good just where you are. And I'm thankful for those folks. But those people out there do exist who like what we're doing. And if you're out there and you're listening, I welcome you to be a Falcon. I welcome you to support this mission. We have not done it right. And most people don't like to make bad investments. People with money, they usually made good investments or had a great inheritance, or both and. I say to them, become a Falcon. This is a great story. This is a great comeback story. We're not dead yet. We're still rising.
So you're saying you could still be years away from possibly closing doors, but the campus is also doing things like holding candlelight vigils and asking for millions of dollars in funds. So when you hear that, it kind of paints like a dire picture. So how do you just explain that?
Because it is dire. In the darkest times, when you get at your weakest moment, it is tough. And then the phone rings. And then an email comes. And there's something else that comes to help lift your spirits and shows, no, we're not down and out yet. But it is a dire, let's not be mistaken. Each day that we keep our lights on and the water running is a blessing.
You talked about this payroll. I'm just wondering
Oh, yeah, yes. They will not miss their money. We will make sure we make them whole. They won't be, oh, this payroll is over with, we'll catch up next time and not, no. We will keep our faculty and staff whole.
And is that just as the cash flow comes in and you're able to, or do you have goals for when you're able to meet all of those? Or?
Combination of both. It's just what you said. As cash flow moves, we're able to move. But we're trying to get ourselves into a posture, which some of our best assets, our land, so that we're not coming every 2 weeks. Do I need to check my account, or maybe I just, wait and see, so we want to make sure we are thoughtful in planning 5 or 6 months out until we get to the next fiscal year.
How much money has the university raised toward that $5 million campaign that you announced back in December?
I would say right now, we're probably, I'll tell you what, let me respond back to that. I would say a little over $1 million has raised, but some of that has been, paying adjunct pay. So the whole Falcon Pride initiative, there are a number of facets in there. It's taking care of our students. It's making sure our faculty are being paid. So I think we're a little close to the $1 million mark on that.
We have some virtual.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Dr. Burgess?
Yes, I can.
Hi, it's Joe Brown from ABC 11. I might have missed this over the Zoom because the audio wasn't great at first. Are you expecting the Sachs appeal hearing to happen as early as tomorrow?
So,
and don't these latest financial struggles, multiple occasions of failing to meet payroll, hurt your case even further as you try to prove that Sinong is financially responsible?
So the way the Sachs meeting and hearing is going to go, they are only taking, you can only speak to what has happened prior and up to the Sachs meeting in December. Anything considered past that point would be an objection. We can only speak to what has happened on the record. But these were, to answer your question, people hear, people are in tune to the media. And so to think it may not be in the back of someone's mind, the other piece may be, wow, did we do some of this to cause even more harm? Speaking about Sachs. So it may be an opportunity to say, you know what happens if they were giving another year for probation with good cause? And this new administrative team have shown that they are working themselves back to being financially stable. Man, we made a good call not to close them down. So all of this pulls the cover off of everything that might have been going on before, but it gives us an opportunity to tell a new story and to show that we are doing things better. Which way, Marcus? Okay, go ahead.
With all these payroll issues and cash flow problems, are you still getting paid right now?
I'm the last person to receive any money, and I will always be the last.
Just wanted to give an opportunity if either of the students, I mean, you all see your classmates on campus here, and I'm sure they have a lot of worries and probably want to hear from someone just like them. Is there anything you would say to your classmates about staying here, about making that commitment?
I think it's more so just encouraging them to, even though the university is going through its time right now, this isn't the time to pick and choose a side. It's just a time where we kind of keep it all in-house, make sure that we're together and we're saying the same thing.
I just feel like it's all about doing our part. As long as we're doing our part and we believe in SAU, the students will look at it and they'll follow after us because we are a representation of the student body.
What keeps you believing in SAU in spite of all these financial challenges?
What keeps me believing in SAU? SAU chose me, okay? So I love SAU, I love my HBCU, they kept me going. Actually, I'm gonna go a little bit into detail. When I was coming out of high school, SAU was actually like one of the colleges that accept me due to my low high school GPA. So there were like other colleges that weren't willing to accept me, and SAU has shown me that it's not always about where you start, but it's always about like how you finish. And I love SAU, I love my HBCU.
Why the emotion?
You good.
You say why the emotion? Because, yes, because I care, and that's the main reason why I ran for SGA president. So I can be an example, and I can show the student body, again, that it's not always about where you come from, and it's not always about where you start. It's about where you finish and how you finish, and SAU has the resources. SAU has the faculty and staff that care, the dedicated faculty and staff. Look at all the faculty and staff that's here right now, you know? I love y'all. Faculty and staff.
Like she said, I mean, St. Aug has a way of choosing people. Everyone here kind of found themselves here. No one kind of, you know, we would love for you to be like St. Aug is where I want to be, but in reality, St. Aug finds you. I know, same thing, I graduated in 2020. I had no high school graduation. I had no prom, all of that. So when I got here, it was an empty shell for me to kind of express myself in every way possible. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't had the experiences and the in-depth training that St. Aug gives you. So.
Thank you. What else is there to be said?
I can't help but notice the emotion on your face, Mr. Bridger.
When you have the degrees, you can go anywhere you want to go. I chose to come here. Like they were chosen to be here. I chose to come because it matters. It could be St. Aug today. It could be another institution tomorrow. We have to be about the posture of, in spite of sometimes bad choices. If we all were judged on the bad decisions that we made, I don't think we would be here. It's because of second chances. It's because of when someone did something for you, even when you may not have deserved it. That's where we are right now. We're in a place right now of second chances, sometimes even third chances. We are going to rise, but it's going to be the wind beneath the wings that this community, this great nation, this country has for HBCUs, higher learning, just students who want to just be better so they can go back to their communities and make a difference. The difference between the students we serve, they are the very best from their communities, their homes, their households. Somebody's betting on her. Somebody's betting on him to pull them up. How can we run from that? Who are we to think that we're so good that we don't have to do what we have to do, roll up our sleeves, stay up all night on spreadsheets and thinking about algorithms and how can we make this work, how can we make this work, and then making those calls to people, asking them to reconsider their commitment to this institution. There was a local bank that I sat down with and thought they were going to do something to help support our athletic teams going to the CIAA next weekend. And we got a denial. We were only asking for about $2,500 to $5,000. We got denied because of the press, the negative press, the financial instability. Now, on one hand, it kind of makes a little sense, right? You got IRS problems. You got problems all over the place. But I'm not asking you to help me. I'm asking you to help them.
Will students be able to attend the CIAA?
Come hell or high water. And I'll probably get in trouble for that. Any other questions? Shout out to my faculty and staff in the back. And to the parents of our students, we're working for a better tomorrow. We're working for a better tomorrow. Please give us an opportunity to make things right. Thank you.